What's up, guys? This is Albert Wynn, Untitled Chapter. Welcome back to Best of the Rest. I believe this is episode 5 or 6. I can't remember. It's been a lot of fun. We don't have any guests today, but again, we do this every single week. This is a show where I highlight the sports that I just don't get enough press in the United States. So we're talking about soccer, golf, tennis, Formula One, UFC, boxing, anything that you can think of that's outside of the top 4 in the US. I like to highlight because there's a lot of betting angles and a lot of opportunities in these sports as well. So first things first, let's go ahead and get to recapping the Formula One race this past weekend. So they went to France. Could be the last race at the Paul Ricard circuit. It's one of my favorite tracks, so hopefully I'm wrong there. But there are reports that this could be the last one. But with that being said, heading into Sunday's race, Charles Leclerc had pole position. Ferrari was looking strong, even though Sainz had to start at the bottom of the grid just because of penalties and everything like that. He ended up in the top 5, and everyone kind of expected it because they do have the fastest car on the grid. With that being said, though, Leclerc leading the way during the race. About before midway through, he spun out and he was unable to finish. So another mishap, another big mistake by the Leclerc Ferrari team that paved the way for Max Verstappen to win. Max Verstappen right now is the best driver in the world. Lewis Hamilton finished second and George Russell P3. First time ever the two Mercedes teammates, Hamilton and Russell, finished in the podium together. So that was cool to see for Mercedes fans. Lewis Hamilton, I believe this is the 4th straight podium for him. So he's definitely heading in the right direction. His arrow is pointing up. He had a really good drive. Max Verstappen blew the competition away. I think he beat Lewis Hamilton by over 10 seconds. After that, George Russell was 16, 17 seconds behind that. And then Sergio Perez and Carlos Sainz. The reason why I bring up Sergio Perez is he himself had a mishap. There was a virtual safety car towards the end of the race, and George Russell was tailing him. And I think George Russell did the old bait and switch, slow played him. And as soon as the VSC turned green, Russell gunned it, and Perez was caught sleeping. And so Perez ended up 4th, even though he had 3rd in the bag with a few laps left. Couple notable finishes here. Fernando Alonso with a top 6 finish for Alpine. Lando Norris 7. Esteban Ocon Alpine again for 8th. Danny Ricciardo, not bad for him in the points, 2 points at P9. And Lance Stroll ends out the top 10 for Aston Martin. That was an interesting battle there between Lance Stroll and Sebastian Vettel. They went toe-to-toe all the way to the last turn of the last lap. Lance Stroll obviously ended up on top, but that was a near collision there, which would have been disastrous for Aston Martin. But we do have another race coming up, right? We have the Hungarian Grand Prix this weekend, and I'm looking for Ferrari to kind of make amends for what they did this past race. So if I look at the odds here, if you guys bear with me and give me a few seconds here. So the Hungary Grand Prix right now, the favorite is Max Verstappen at plus 125, followed by Leclerc plus 150, and then a distance third plus 650 Carlos Sainz, plus 1200 Lewis Hamilton, Sergio Perez, George Russell. My favorite bet is going to be Charles Leclerc plus 150 to win. Like I said, I do think Ferrari is going to make amends. We know they have the fastest car. They have, especially in those fast turns, they just strategically, they've just been really, really bad this season, and reliability issues with the engine has run rampant throughout the season, ending multiple races in DNFs. So hopefully they get it turned around. As a Hamilton fan myself, I'm wearing Mercedes hat, as you can see. I actually think his podium streak is going to end. I think it's going to be Leclerc, Max, and most likely Sainz in 3rd. But we'll see. Mercedes, they're always, working, making upgrades. Time is running out, but I think they've made so many improvements now versus the beginning of the year when they had so many proportioning issues that they're just going to keep going full steam ahead and hopefully have a really good car towards the end. But I think they're making a lot of progress and learning a lot in terms of research for the next car in 2023. So I know Hamilton is kind of having a down year for those who are just getting into the sport, but I expect them to be in contention to win the World Drivers' Championship next season. All right, let's go ahead and move towards the golf tournament. So we had the 3M Tournament Championship in Minnesota, I believe, 25 miles north of Minneapolis. Scott Piercy had this tournament in the bag. He was up 4 to 5 strokes with 9 holes left, and he had the worst back nine I can remember out of anyone on tour. I think he had one stretch out of 3 holes where he was 5 or 6 over par. In those same 3 holes, Tony Finau was 2 under par. That's an 8-shot swing in 3 holes. There's no way like anyone could have foreseen that to happen. Tony Finau ended up winning, so congratulations to him. There's been 7, I believe, FedEx Cup playoffs. You know, he's been in the season in professional golf, PGA Tour, 7 years. He's made the playoffs all 7 years, is what I'm trying to say. So he is super, super consistent. That is second win in less than a year now. Out of those 7 times in the FedEx Cups, he's made it to the Tour Championship, which is the final round of the FedEx Cup, 5 out of 7 times. So Tony Finau is looking like he's rounding into form again, just perfect timing for the playoffs. Again, reminder, we don't have any more major championships left. The Open was the last one of the season. So right now it's really just getting into summer and fall golf. And we're going to see, you know, those big FedEx Cup points and a lot of money, big check at the end. Other couple notable guys, Sungjae Im finished second with Emiliano Grillo, 14 under par. James Hahn, Tom Hoge, and the aforementioned Scott Piercy at T4, minus 13 under. And then some other guys. This was a weaker field. Tony Finau was the highest ranked player coming in. I think he was 17th in the official world golf ranking, and he ended up winning. He was the front runner. I think he was plus 13 pre-tournament, and he ended up winning. So props to Tony Finau. Props to his family. I'm a big Tony Finau fan, guys. I know he has had really bad Sundays, especially in bigger tournaments. But the guy off the course is amazing. His story with his family and his parents, super tragic and super amazing at the same time. So I'm very happy for him and his wife and kids. So moving on here to the UFC. This was UFC London, right? Saturday morning here in the United States. This was kind of like a homecoming for a lot of the English fighters. We had Paddy Pimblett. You know, he took control of the fight, submitted Jordan Levitt. He won for the UK. Molly McCann was a big one. She won knockout first couple minutes in the first round. And then it was supposed to be, you know, the crowning jewel, the main event, right? The main entree here with Tom Aspinall versus Curtis Blaydes in the main event. Heavyweight fight. And it's a sad thing to see, but Aspinall blew out his knee 15 seconds into the fight. I know it's really hard to really analyze, you know, the fight with only 15 seconds of you know, clock to really look at, but Curtis Blaydes did catch him a couple times. Tom Aspinall had a right roundhouse kick, and then right as he planted to step back is when his knee gave out. So maybe he heard it in training beforehand. I'm not sure. But the cool thing about this, one of the coolest moments of this UFC card was Tom and Curtis Blaydes actually met up after the fight, shared a beer together, and you know, they were buddies. They were buddies drinking beer at a pub in England. Like, you can't beat that. So props to Curtis Blaydes. Props to Tom Aspinall. I was on Aspinall, so it was a little disappointing. I ended my card 2-1. I thought Aspinall was going to get me the 3-0 sweep, but you can't really predict injury. So, you know, props to both of them. My favorite moment of the night was when Paddy won, and he got on the microphone and talked about mental health for guys, for males. So he's raising awareness there. He just had a close friend, you know, commit suicide a couple weeks ago. So it's heavy on his heart, is the front of his head and his mind. So I'm very proud of him to speak up on that, and I hope it continues to raise awareness and continues to get people to open up about mental health and mental awareness and issues like that. So props to Patty there, and he was an amazing fight, right? It was an amazing fighter. I think he's going to be, one of the superstars. If he's not already, he's going to definitely be a superstar in the UFC moving forward. All right, the very last thing I wanted to talk about is soccer. So we are only 1 week away from the English Premier League, guys. 1 week. There's been a lot of transfers. There's been a lot of rumors, as always. Um, Ronaldo is still on Manchester United, even though he hasn't shown up to any of the offseason workouts. Haaland is still City. Salah is still at Liverpool. Harry Kane is still at Tottenham. So, some of the superstars are still there. But I'm looking very, very excited for this season. My team, Chelsea, I think we're going to take a step back, which I know it's hard being a club with so much, such a big fan base, so many resources, so much money. But I think in a year of ownership transition, like the one we just had, I think it's just natural to have a small step back. And I don't think they're going to be relegated or anything. Obviously, it's still a top team in terms of talent in the English Premier League and in Europe, to be honest. But I don't know if they can compete with Man City in terms of the Premier League. So the Man City to win the EPL is actually my favorite bet heading into this season. I've spoke about it a couple times before. Right now, it's a -165 on DraftKings. On FanDuel, it is -175. So I mean, it's getting juicier as we talk about this, and I still think it's a great bet. There's no team right now in England that can compete with City. We know that talent-wise, top to bottom, they're the best, they're the deepest, and we know that Pep, their coach, is going to be extremely, extremely focused and motivated this season because he lost in the Champions League this past year. So I love City to win, outright winner in terms of the English Premier League. I would put that in now. Again, it's -165 on DraftKings, -175 on FanDuel. Some other spots here, highest or top goal scorer, which was Son this past season, Son and Ronaldo, I believe, at 20 goals. Right now, the favorite is Haaland at +250, Mo Salah at +470. Let's see what else. It's probably Harry Kane after that. Yeah. Haaland, Salah, Harry Kane, Gabriel Jesus, another Man City player. Son, who won it last year, is +1400. Darwin Núñez for Liverpool. I would stay away from that bet. He's getting a lot of hype right now for Liverpool because I believe he scored 2 or 3 goals in their most recent, exhibition match. But I don't think he's going to be able to do what people think he expect to do with defenders in the EPL. Ronaldo +1400, Jamie Vardy +2500, Alvarez +2500, and Jota +2500. So, a bunch of Liverpool guys, which makes sense. They do score a lot of goals. My favorite bet in terms of value there is going to be Harry Kane. Harry Kane, he's going to take all of the PKs just like Ronaldo. I think Tottenham is going to have a really good season, and I think I like them to finish in the top 4. With that being said, try to find Harry Kane at +600 or better. Right now on DraftKings is +500 as a top goal scorer. On FanDuel is +550, so a little better odds there, but I found +600 in multiple places. So top 4 finish right now. Tottenham is -155. That's probably my second favorite bet outside of City winning outright. Tottenham's a lot better in terms of knowing what they are. I think for the last 2-3 seasons, they've struggled with really defining who they are as a club, their strategy. Are they a scoring team? Are they a defensive team? Are they a mix of both? They just had a lot of questions. And I think with the new coach and with the kind of like the new leadership coming in, I think they have a good semblance of what they are and what they should be because they have a lot of talent. I love, the duel of Son and Harry Kane. So I think just them two alone is going to be enough for them to push into the top 4. So minus 155 on FanDuel. Let me look at DraftKings odds here. Top 4 for Tottenham is minus 165. So DraftKings is actually juicier for this bet. But I do like Man City to win outright as the winner of the English Premier League. I like Tottenham to finish top 4 in the EPL. And I also like Harry Kane to be the top goal scorer in the EPL at plus 600, depending on what you're looking at. Those are some of my favorite bets as we get into the soccer season. Again, it's only a week away. I'm excited. I think Brentford's going to finish in the top 10, guys. Brentford has a lot of momentum moving forward. I know they lost Christian Eriksen, which deservingly so. He's a great player who was on a smaller club in Brentford, and now he's at United. So props to him. His story is amazing too, obviously. But it's plus 350 for Brentford to finish in the top 10. I like that a lot, man. I think that's a lot of value. It's plus 430 on FanDuel, so even better value there. I like Brentford to get into the top 10 because I know they're going to play solid. I know they're going to be hungry. They're not going to lose a lot of games 5-0. I think they're going to be in a lot of tight games, and if a couple of balls bounce their way, they could beat a couple of those big clubs, and that'll be huge in terms of the table standing. So, yeah, to review, Man City outright, Tottenham top 4, Harry Kane top goal scorer. I like Brentford plus 430 to finish in the top 10. I also like the Wolves there at plus 200, but not the value that I'm looking for. In terms of the UFC betting, I do like Charles Leclerc, guys, plus 150 to win the Hungarian Grand Prix this week. Very excited for Leclerc and the Ferrari team as a whole to make a bounce back this week. So look into some of those. Again, there's no practice or qualifying yet, but if you are confident like I am when it comes to Leclerc heading into this Grand Prix, I think it's a great time to bet it. Because once and if he wins pole position heading into Sunday, that's going to be minus odds for sure. All right, guys, thank you so much for jumping on with me today. Best of the rest, we did golf, we did UFC, we did F1, and we did some soccer. The very next episode, we're going to get into tennis because we are in hard court season. A lot of the players around the world are traveling to the U.S., they're playing in tune-up events or in North America, getting ready for the U.S. Open, which is about 3 or 4 weeks away. So I'm going to start previewing that. For those who have been following me, you guys know tennis has been on fire right now. I'm going to continue to play tennis just because some of those lines are extremely, extremely soft. And if you can find those opportunities, definitely take advantage. I'll continue to post that. I'll post it to Scores and Odds as well. Check out our website. It is the best in of betting tools, latest odds, all the different numbers in terms of public money versus sharp money. And there's a ton of free picks on that website, not only from me, but from 10, 15, 20 other handicappers that I really respect. So definitely check out scoresandodds.com. To me, my favorite site when I'm looking at, those type of reference numbers. So thank you again, guys, and I'll see you next time.